We are very pleased to have Andrew Brown from the World Travel and Tourism Council and Grant Holmes, the chairman of Progress International and vice president of INCAPE, here today to talk about the future of tourism. We also have Minister of Tourism and Environment, Blendi Klosi, and Elvis Kotheria, Managing Director of Elite Travel Group. So welcome everybody. My first question goes to Mr. Brown. Considering everything that has happened this year, how important is it for the tourism industry to focus on sustainability and customer service moving forward? What strategies should the tourism sector undertake to ensure a sound recovery?
Great, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to the Elite Travel Group for inviting the World Travel and Tourism Council to be present today. It's fantastic, especially on the Youth Day for Albania. Congratulations to all those involved. Grant, pleasure to be here with you, and Minister. It is a pleasure. First of all, my name is Andrew Brown, Senior Regional Manager at the World Travel and Tourism Council, originally from New Zealand, and knowing from personal experiences that sustainability and service go hand in hand. Coming from a country that is so far away, we really need to diversify ourselves from the rest of the world and have a really good proposition for people to come down to that part of the world. So the World Travel and Tourism Council, for those of you who aren't aware, we represent the private sector of travel and tourism. Our members are the leaders within travel and tourism, the CEOs. And what we do is we highlight how important travel is around the world by highlighting the impact that it plays on an economy. For example, globally last year, tourism was 10% of the global economy. And then if you break that down into Albania, it was 22% of the entire economy. So that's very, very impressive, and something that I really wish to congratulate the Minister and the government of Albania on is that over last year, tourism grew by 8.5%, which is huge compared to the global average of 3.5%. So if you take that in mind, tourism in Albania is growing at an exponential rate and is contributing to almost 50% of money that comes into the country. So that is very, very important to know. And it's really a sector where when you combine sustainability and service, they definitely go hand in hand.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. My next question is for Mr. Holmes. Where do you see the biggest changes in tourism sectors in the next 5 to 10 years? And considering your experience with Albania, where do you see Albanian tourism headed in the future? Your mic is off. Can you turn it on, please?
Okay, there it goes. Good morning from Dubai, everybody. Andrew, it's a pleasure to share a platform with you. Likewise, Your Excellency Minister. So my name is Grant Holmes. I'm the global head of INCAPE Cruise Solutions. And we work in the tourism field, specializing in cruise tourism, but we're also consulting 20 countries around the world on tourism in general, including cruise. But great question, what about tomorrow of the future? And with all these young people watching in the Youth Day of Albania, I think it's a special day. And I would like to say that I believe, due to the crisis we've had this year, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity for Albania to increase tourism and to move towards the future of tourism. And, we all look at the future differently. Most of us think that where we are right now is the present and the future is in front of us and behind us is the past. If you take Aborigines, for example, they think that the future is behind them because the future you can't see. And I think that's a very good thing to open this up. You can't always see the future, but you can predict it. And a lot of research and study has been done on this. And the countries that we're currently consulting, we point them towards the future traveler tribes for 2030. What will the future tourists look like in 2030? We've looked at 6 main areas. And I think this is quintessential for Albania to focus on. The first one we call the cultural purists. These people, they desire, and in the future they will desire full immersion into exotic and colorful cultures. They like the interaction. They don't just want to eat the cuisine, they want to learn how to make the cuisine, how to learn the local culinary arts of a destination. So cultural purists I think there's a great opportunity in Albania for that, in the cities, the villages, the towns, and the way of life. Secondly, we have the ethical travelers. These people focus on how a country makes its decision and a destination makes its decision on sustainability, environment, and social responsibility. Conscious decisions based on moral grounds. So if they don't feel that the company, the destination, or the country is moving in the right direction, they may not go there because they will make those decisions on ethical grounds. Obligation meters. These are people that want to have a specific purpose or achievement, either in business or pleasure. I've learned, especially in cruise tourism, that access is the new luxury. Giving people access to something that they otherwise would not have. And it could be something rudimentary, simple, but giving access to it, different experiences, adventures. This is something that will help the obligation meters. Everybody in their lives has what we call a bucket list, of 100 things they want to do before they die. And obligation meters lists are focused on that bucket list. I'm a centurion. A centurion is someone that has been to more than 100 countries. And there's a centurion club, and you have to have been to 100 countries to join the club. So, I've been to about 140, and there are plenty of countries I haven't been to on my list. So I think Albania will fare well here because it's different. And we're experiencing a global reset where people will look at new things. So we must prepare for this. Number 4, reward hunters. These are people that want rewards for their travel. They're indulgent seekers. They perceive premium experiences they look for. And these are the typical types of people that join loyalty programs. So to have big brands in the country will help generate that type of tourism. And reward hunters is synonymous with luxury travel. Simplicity searchers is our 5th type of traveler tribe for the future. Simplicity searchers are busy people. They don't have time to look at all the details. They don't have time to organize themselves. They just want to avoid complexity. And it was Einstein that said it's simple to complicate, but it's complicated to simplify. So sometimes travel agents, tour operators, we need to simplify things and make it easy for the guests. They don't want too many choices, the simplicity searchers. And point 6, the social capital seekers, we call them. These are people that structure travel via online peer reviews, decisions. They go to sites like TripAdvisor to look at what an audience will say about a hotel, a destination, a resort, an attraction. And in the cruise industry world, it's Cruise Critic. If you want to find out how your destination is doing, go into Cruise Critic and type it up and you will find out very clearly. So I think that looking at Albania, I've been to Albania several times. What I really enjoyed about Albania is the quality of food. I'm British, and it seems that everything is frozen these days in Britain and much of Europe. But in Albania, everything is fresh. And I was surprised about the quality of tourism. And what I would like to say about customer service and quality of tourism is that everybody must remember that customer service is the perception of how people feel they are treated. It's not just one thing, it's a perception. And all those 6 traveler tribes, we must orientate them into niche segments, and then we give the service according to the perception of that audience. I think that's very important. So here, from what I've seen, apart from the food, the wonderful eco-travel and landscape and the farms, you can actually see what you're eating in Albania in many respects. I love that aspect of it. And I like the genuinity of the people. And I like aspects of the culture as well. I really enjoyed and interacting. My Albanian is not great at the moment, and I've actually met more Albanians outside of Albania than inside Albania. But so when I went to Albania, I was pleasantly surprised about and one great thing about Albania is that you've managed to avoid mass tourism. So everything is niche already, and I would suggest to keep it that way. It's going very well. So future traveler, tribes, what I mentioned earlier, let's link to how we can make that happen for Albania. These are my 6 niche areas of recommendation for Albania. Number 1, focus on cruise tourism, please, because it's very quick. It's going to happen fast. We don't have to do mass marketing. We can bring cruise ships there fast. But don't focus so much on the mega, because that will not be sustainable. We don't need to build huge ports. Let's focus on the luxury. They have 10 times the buying power, luxury ships, discovery ships. They want to discover cultures, new lands, and expedition sectors. Let's give some adventure tourism to them. So cruise tourism can happen quickly, and it can be the catalyst for other types of tourism. Point 2 is eco-tourism. This would include agro-tourism and nature and learning-based adventures, and how we can connect that. Albania has a multitude of areas where ecotourism could be developed and linked to agro-tourism. Point 3 is agro-tourism. You have a great coastline, and with many options of things to do on the coastline, the water and the sea, and these could be, water-based experiences such as scuba, water sports, yachting. We can bring marinas and bring whole, different types of tourism through aquatourism. Point 4, the 4th recommendation is cultural tourism, which I alluded to in the Traveller Tribes. This could happen in the cities, the towns, and even the villages for a more immersed cultural experience, orientated through history, culture, real life in Albania as I experienced it. Thanks to Elite Travel, actually, I first went to Albania, and thanks to Elvis. And also, I would add the culinary and arts, various types of art forms is interesting in cultural terms. And then MEIS, for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibition, but not the general MEIS. I would talk about focusing on niche segments to get a niche segment angle on the market, in the niche market. And finally, well-being. I felt really healthy. I thought the air was very healthy in Albania, and I ate really well with great food, great water, and great wine, I must say. And, this can be, well-being can be linked to, healthy experiences, learning opportunities from health, food, and different practices like yoga, treatments. I think this is a great way to go. And finally, I would just like to add, there are opportunities in Albania for volunteerism, where people could volunteer to contribute to the communities. And these could be set up through Fund Me type of campaigns. And I would be very willing to support such campaigns in Albania, because I feel that the potential is huge. So I'd like to finish on a statement that I'm coming from Dubai, and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum always says, in the race for excellence, there is no finish line. So we have to strive for excellence in customer service and excellence in sustainability. And sustainability, we must always understand, to give a greater view on it, we must focus on meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations, which is, I think, all about today's session.
Mr. Holmes, I want you to thank you for the knowledge that you share with us and the very kind words about Albania. We welcome you here back again as soon as you can. I have one more question for Mr. Brown. How can tourism industry recover after the COVID-19 pandemic? What will be needed?
Sure, no, thank you. And Grant, there was some great insights there, and really parallels is very similar to what we have been finding within the global tourism sphere, especially around the global reset. And I think to develop on that is now travelers are going to be focusing a lot more on sustainability and personal experiences going forward. So I think when you take the youth of Albania as your national day today, and the rich assets that you have, it's creating that personal experience, that sustainability experience, and outdoors is going to be so much more important. Folks are going to want to travel where the air is fresh, the water is clean, as you pointed out, Grant, and that's what's really going to attract tourism again to Albania. And I think you put on the right track is that over-tourism is not there yet, and let's hope it doesn't come, but it does provide an opportunity for more local businesses, small businesses, co-communities to really put the value on people and develop communities and businesses, as tourism is the only sector in the world where you can start as an intern and develop up through the development of soft skills, so teamwork, project management, smile, service, to become a general manager. And I'm sure, Grant, you've realized this throughout your career as well, is that, you know, you learn things on the job, and you can really incorporate this local supply chain. And sort of what we've found is that health and hygiene protocols are going to be very important as well, is that to add on to have the global reset that you highlighted, people are going to travel where it's safe, healthy and hygienic. So that's something to take away for all hotels, cruise lines especially, airlines, everything, tour operators, is to have a clean environment for travelers to come. But also people are going to rely on experience from others, from their close friends and family. If they're going to travel to Albania, if they're going to travel anywhere, it's going to be on recommendations, because they're going to want to have simplicity within that. They're going to want to be like, okay, where can I go where I'm going to be safe and hygienic? And that's going to be Albania, with all your fresh air, your fresh produce right there. And I think coming and linking it all back around service and sustainability, I started my career within tourism at Disney World in Orlando. And what that is pinned on is service, where it's a smile with everything, it's problem solving with any issue that comes up, it's helping the guest, helping the customer get to where they need to go, because they are there helping, spending their money, which creates jobs for you, creates jobs for your community. So if I could just put anything on that, it's service with a smile is the best part. And also going back to where tourism, how we're going to redevelop out of this, back to your question, Brian, thank you for that. It is around digitalization as well, and having digital aspects incorporated within tourism. You know, and that can come from government funding, government support, subsidies to help with small businesses to develop these. So that when I'm talking about there, it's contactless travel throughout the whole safe, seamless traveler journey. So when they do check into a hotel or to a cruise line, the face-to-face directly is less, but the face-to-face is there to help them enjoy their experience. So it's taking that burden out of it. So that's really where we see tourism going to bounce back from. It is within health and hygiene protocols, digitalization, and the reliance on personal experiences to go forward to cut out the gray area, so you know what you're going to get before you get there.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, for your answer. Now, Minister Klosi, can you please tell us about the efforts of the Ministry of Tourism? What efforts has it made to address the challenges of this difficult year? And what is your vision for the future of tourism in Albania?
Okay, thank you, Elise. Thank you, Elise, but more than I want to thank Grant and Andre for what they are saying regarding of Albania. And also I really want to thank Elise from Elite Travel and also Gledian from the municipality of Elbasan for organizing such a kind of conference in a youth day. It's really a very important day for Albania, for the democracy and the period that we are living together. And also it's a very important day for the future of the Albanian youth generation. It has been like this all in the last 30 years, and all in these days we are trying to organize things to also to think what has happened, but also what has passed and what will be the future of our generation. And in this regard, I really appreciate the idea of talking with the youth about the career in the tourism in this day, because the tourism is becoming really just not a trend in Albania, but also one of the most important pillars of the Albanian economy. Right now, tourism is everywhere, and everybody is talking about tourism in Albania. For sure, if you're counting the 2020 is a bad year, it has been bad for all the world regarding the pandemic. But even within the 2020, we can find some good sign about the Albanian tourism. And thanks to the work that Elvis and all his colleagues has done during the last year, the tourism has survived in Albania. and more than survive, it has been one of the most supportive of the Albanian economy. During the 2020, in Albania still we received a lot of tourism from the region and also from internal Albania, and make tourism, and it has been a year of survive, but also to do some business in tourism. And since I listened very well what Grant say about the future of the tourism, really we need to talk right now more strategically, because I think, and I strongly believe, that we are just at the beginning of this, let's say, industry in Albania. We look like we have tourism, but for sure we are just in the beginning. We need so much trained people like you guys, which are following us in this youth day, but in the same time, which is a very important day for different aspects in the country, and thinking and talking about tourism. Tourism is one of the most, let's say, promoting economy in Albania. Right now, we have started thinking about be part like European destination, the tourism of the Mediterranean, but still we need to work hardly to be in contact with the colleague of Elvis and the other tour operators company. And I think that even this workshop today will help us to be more in contact with the international organization and private sector, which is, let's say, the key player in this industry, to be more in contact and to see the chances that we have in Albania. But also we, like the government, and for sure even the local government people like Gledian, which we cannot say that, okay, we have some experience, but maybe I'm a little bit old, but Gledian is so young to see the future of Elbasan completely different. The Elbasan can be transformed, like I really want to thank Grant again, like one of the most interesting places in the country, because it's so near to the sea side, but it's also in the center of the Albania, is a crossroad for going everywhere. At the same time, Elbasan has a lot of potential in the agritourism, in the mountain, in the beautiful landscape, but also wellness, and for sure in the historical places that Elbasan has. So I think that one of the most important things that all the three actors, the central government, the private sector, and the local government, is how to create new destination in Albania. Why a tourist from Dubai will come and stay in Berat, in Elbasan 3 days? This is the main question. And just not going only in the sea. We have, okay, a good seaside, but also over there we needed more people to be trained. And also in this capacity, I want to also restrain the idea that Elite Travel have to create this academy and to train more people. We needed skilled people. We really needed desperately, we needed skilled person. Just not only to serve. It's okay, service is a problem, but Albanians are very well educated in the hospitality, like Grant said. But we needed manager. Where to find manager for our industry? We need to find services which are out of the, let's say, classic service that we know. We need to transform our industry, even regarding the pandemic, in the new industry which is completely online. And what we are doing on that, really we are in the first step. And so we need to support the company like Elite Travel, which they have promised that in 2021, they'll do everything online. But this is what we do internally, what to do the government for opening Albania for more in the region. Okay, maybe our colleague from outside think really big and globally, but we need to think strategically. And so Albania needs to be very important key player in the tourism in the region first. 2020 showed that we've been able to create in Albania a very nice destination for Albanians from Kosovo, from North Macedonia, and from Montenegro. But also, thanks to the chances that we have been by this bad situation of pandemic, the Albanian government decided to be the first one opening the border from 1st of June. I will never close it again. In 10th of June, we received the first charter fly Europeans one from Belarus. And so the 2020, it has been a good chance to see that really we can be transformed like the hub for all the region. And so in 2020, we received a lot of more people from Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, North Macedonia, but Macedonian from this side. So our philosophy is how to transform the seaside of Albania and all Albania like a European destination, more for the region first, and secondly, to offer these chances for more European connection and worldwide. So we are also in, since I don't know how many times I have, but also very important idea that we have and we need to strengthen is, and we have talked several times with my colleague from the private sector, and especially for travel agency, that Albania is okay, it's a good destination, but it's very small to be like a destination for long haul. It's not possible that somebody from, I don't know, from a destination like Dubai or from America, from China, or from Japan will come only for Albania and visit us. So our philosophy is how to be connected much more with our neighbors and with our country in the region to create a Balkan destination, or let's say Western Balkan destination. And so thanks to the guys like Elvis and the others, I don't mention him, but through him, all the industry. So we need to create like the idea of mini Schengen of Balkan, a destination for long haul people just to come in Albania, Serbia, Kosovo, Albanian, Kosovo, Montenegro, Albanian, North Macedonia, Serbia. So a combination of our destination. And for that, we needed skilled person. We need to, I want to put this message because I want to be back in the training of the youth which are following us, but so many other, which needs to be in a competition with all the region. A company to make tourism in Albania is a very small one and never will be strong enough. But a company which will make business in all the region, it will be a very competitive one. But this one needs skilled person. This one needs people which are focused in the tourism, which has made training, which know how to use all the possibilities that the internet offer right now, and how to be an European worker. So for that reason, I'm really very glad to be here in this meeting and to talk with so many youth in a really very smart way, which is not possible at all to follow in live meeting. But thanks to the online meetings, we can talk with so many people and pushing them to train in this, to make career in tourism, because for sure, for Albania, is one of the most significant work to do and more paid one. And right now, opening this debate is also a big call for their attention. To see that right now they are in competition, not only with the guy from Elbasan, but the competition is more than that. It's not only with the guy from Tirana or Vlora or Shkodra, but it's in competition with all the region and more than the region. So be open. Doesn't mean that we'll be more in competition. And after 30 years of democracy, we need to understand exactly that right now we need to fly or to sail in a very difficult situation. It's not so easy, my dear friend. So we are trying to do our best. We are trying to promote tourism in a larger scale that it's possible. But at the same time, we need support coming out from you, my dear friend, to be trained, to be ready for a big competition in your career. But anyway, thank you to all my colleagues, and thanks to you all guys which are following us, because I really have a lot of hope, and I'm really supporter of the youth which are choosing the tourism like their new career. Doesn't matter if you are engineer, like I am engineer, or you are economist, you are everything in this industry, everybody is needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Klosi. Would you be able to make a commitment today to the youth of Albania to ensure a successful future for the tourism sector in Albania?
You're asking a politician to say a promise. This is our job. But the numbers are our diploma. The number of the tourism in 2019 has been 7 million. I know that grants say that no, it's not good that you need numbers, you need quality. Okay, it's okay. It's theoretically it's okay, but practically we need both. We need quality and quantity. But because we needed sustainability and to make business, and like I mentioned, the year of 2020 show that we don't have capacity. We are in the gap of the capacity, in the infrastructure. We are in the gap of the accommodation. Only with the tourism from Albania and our neighbors, the hotel and the seaside has been all full during the peak season. But we need two things. First, we need more to think Albania for 12 months tourism, and we have all the chances. Right now is 8th of December, and you see outside is the same sun like in Abu Dhabi, on Dubai, where Grand is. So it's sunny day even in the middle of December here in Albania. So why not to do tourism? This target of tourism. And secondly, we need to think for more infrastructure. Infrastructure doesn't mean not only that only new hotels, but also infrastructure in the classic road and airports and things like that, but also infrastructure in the new youth generation to think about tourism, to think about service, to think about hospitality, but also to be trained for more skill and more education, more skilled, more education, more foreign language, because this world is very tough. And to be in this competition, you need to be clever and to be very well educated. This is a promise from a politician that the future is bright. But
thank you, Minister Klosi. Unfortunately, there is no time for questions. I want to thank once again Minister Klosi, Mr. Brown, Mr. Holmes, and Mr. Kotheria, as well as Mayor Llatja, who also joined the panel. We'd also like to thank the World Travel and Tourism Council, Progress International, and Inchcape for their support. And we'd also like to thank the Ministry of Tourism and Environment.